Films we're looking forward to in what's left of the year.
Hello and welcome back to the Geek Force with Adam Nightingale and Craig Barwell. We are looking at films that are going to be out in 2017. And Adam, these are your pick of the top 10 with a few extras. But we are going to be looking at your list of films that you want to see.
Because we were supposed to do this in January. So the list changed a little bit.
The first list that you did you see any of the films that were on it?
What, last year?
No.
Oh no, this year. No, I don't think it's going to come out now. So we've digressed already.
We've digressed.
Gone to the first movie. So I'm kind
Right. First on your list.
First on this, and this is in no chronological order. It's in no order of
when they're coming out.
Or merit, or you know. But yeah, the first one is I actually think is out kind of a week after this is. Well, it makes no odds because people will be watching this whenever or not at all. So the first one comes out. You know, it's the 1st of March today as we're recording, and I think it comes out next Monday on DVD. So I don't know if it still qualifies. It's called In a Valley of Violence.
It's not coming out of the cinema now.
No, it isn't. No, I think for some reason it just I don't think it did very well in America, and so it's which is a shame because In a Valley of Violence is a western, and it's a western directed by Ty West, who's a name normally associated with horror, very, very idiosyncratic, kind of not very obviously paced horror films. Very, very good. I suppose the two horror films he's best known for, House of the Devil and The Innkeepers, which are very, very strange horror films. You know, with a real kind of nod to the 80s, but not in an obvious way. And they're very kind of, especially The Innkeepers, is very doesn't follow a kind of almost like it doesn't follow this kind of linear arc that a horror movie normally does. You just have to watch it to see. And he's a horror director that's come out of the mumblecore movement. The mumblecore movement, which is I'm not quite sure what the mumblecore movement is, except that it's they're movies that. They're almost kind of like hipster movies that star Greta Gerwig and Adam Driver and Lena Dunham before she went into TV and created Girls and
he was director.
He directed these horror movies and they featured Greta Gerwig has been murdered in one of his movies and like Lena Dunham's turn up selling coffee in The Innkeepers, but he's done a western. And In the Valley of Violence, there's been superficial comparisons with John Wick, and it stars Ethan Hawke, and it's about a drifter that wanders into town with a dog, and something happens to the dog, and all hell breaks loose because they don't realise who or what he is. And it's supposed to be very, very, just get a very, very kind of left of centre western.
He's doing a few westerns at the moment.
What, Ethan Hawke? Yeah. Well, he did the Magnificent Seven, and he's also written a graphic novel about Apaches as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's kind of in a bit of a western, a western, like vibe, as you said. And so in A Valley of Violence, it's also got Karen Gillan in it, and John Travolta as the kind of he's kind of like the patriarchal villain, and then the real villain I think is his son. And so there's always going to be if there's something that looks like it's going to be a good western, it's always going to make its way into my top 10 most. I do like my westerns, and so. This looks unusual and
there's no horror element. This is
they may well be. I don't know. I mean, there may be an element of the grotesque in it, but I can't. It's been a while since I've read the reviews. I mean, I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Then kind of forgot that it was coming out, and then
was this meant to be out last year?
It was. I think it came out in the autumn last year, and again, it sort of didn't do very well, and it'll probably. I'll probably end up sort of getting it. From a supermarket.
For £5.
For £5, and cursing the cowardly distributors. This isn't on in the cinema. So that's In a Valley of Violence.
What you could do,
is
buy it for £5, and then set it up at the Screen 22 with your friends and watch it on the cinema.
What is that? Is that going to be subsidised? Who's going to pay for the?
I don't know. Who pay for that.
No, it's not going to happen.
I think if you pay for yourselves, then it happens.
I'm just quite happy to. I'll just watch it. I'll just watch it on television. I'll watch it on my laptop, or watch it on whatever device receives the DVD disc. So I'll make do with that. and just wait for the inevitable Ty West retrospective. But a lot of his films don't make. I think the film before this that I saw was a film called The Sacrament, which is essentially about a Jim Jones-esque style cult. I don't think that made the cinema. I saw it on Netflix.
Right. Maybe he is just a overlooked person.
No. In the horror community, he's hugely revered.
But I'm just saying, when sort of America, they're releasing his stuff, but maybe, like you say, he's not getting the distribution over here.
No, but how a film performs in America often dictates how it's going to be released.
Your next one is
there should be an L there. That's Brawl.
I thought it was
not
Brawl.
Brawl.
Brawl in Cell Block 99.
Well, Brawl in Cell Block 99 is the second film from someone who was in my most looking forward to list last year and made my best of list. So it's the second film by S. Craig Zahler, who made Bone Tomahawk.
Oh, right, okay.
And so I don't know much about this movie except that he's making it, and it's set in a prison, and it's about a disgraced boxer who winds up in prison and embroiled in a drug war, and it's Vince Vaughn, who just seems to have sort of taken a little bit of a sort of sidestep from comedy after being cast in True Detective season 2,
right?
And then he's the drill sergeant in Hacksaw Ridge, and now
I always thought Vince Vaughn did start off as quite a serious actor. In his early stuff. I'm trying to think.
I don't know anything he did before Swingers, so.
I'm trying to think of him now. But he did start off doing sort of straight stuff, and then all of a sudden he's sort of gone.
And he seems to be sort of going back in that direction, and stuff like this reminds you that he's actually a very big guy physically.
Yes,
big guy. So why shouldn't he play a heavy of some description? But it's also got Jennifer Carpenter. From Dexter and Quarantine, the remake of the Spanish horror movie Wreck, and Don Johnson, who's undergoing something of a kind of renaissance, in
his twilight years.
And so it will be unpredictable. It'll be sort of an interesting take on a genre. It's been a really good prison movie, I think, for a while, and it'll be phenomenally violent. And not what you expect. And Vince Vaughn apparently is quite exciting because Vince Vaughn's already signed up to do the next movie by S. Craig Zahler, which is called Dragged Across Concrete, which is like an LA cop movie. And if you read on IMDb, there's implications that it might be a horror movie as well. And Mel Gibson's in it.
Oh,
That'll be interesting. Yeah, so Brawl in Cell Block 99 is my second movie.
Okay, and the next one is Free Fire.
It's Free Fire, which is the new film from Ben Wheatley. If you remember, like last time we did this, I was really looking forward to High Rise by Ben Wheatley and was really quite disappointed.
Yeah, you said that
by High Rise. Although there was a lot in it to admire. I mean, but
you said it wasn't the film that.
No, it wasn't.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it was just. There were lots of things I didn't like about it, and I kind of haven't. It's not really the time to kind of articulate. but I like Ben Wheatley, and I'm always it'll be a long time before I'm not up for a new Ben Wheatley film. And Free Fire is set in the 1970s, and from what I understand, it unfolds kind of in real time over the course of a single shootout in a warehouse, and it's about a bunch of criminals meeting in a warehouse to buy guns off some Irish terrorists, and then it all goes horribly wrong, and with black comic consequences. And the cast is phenomenal, and it's all looking phenomenal in their kind of 70s crime duds. And it's got Brie Larson. I think it's the first. Well, I suppose when this was become the second major film she's been in after her Oscar. I think the King Kong movie she's come out before then, and was it Cillian Murphy, Sam Riley, you've got Michael Smiley, who's in every other Irish actor who's in every other Ben Wheatley film. He's a fantastic actor who's like the kind of other hitman in Kill List, and was phenomenal as the Margus, the kind of the magician, the evil magician in A Field in England is in this.
Oh yeah.
And then but the two people that really looking forward to seeing are Arnie Hammer. Arnie Hammer, who's never quite cracked it as a star,
No.
and he's phenomenally clean cut and big and traditionally good looking American, but he's a very, very good character actor because he was in Nocturnal Animals, which as a very, very cold husband of Amy Adams, and he's getting very good reviews in this. And also Charlotte Copley. No, you will know he's the South African actor who was in District 9, and he's in a lot of and he's in a lot of Neil, I can't pronounce his name, sorry, Blomfest, the South African director who did District 9 and Chappie, and he's doing the next Alien movie, the kind of after Alien Covenant, and he's full Afrikaan in this, and he looks hilarious. It was absolutely fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that.
This could be better than.
Well, I mean, a lot of
expectations.
Oh, yeah. I think in a way it sets its bar lower than High Rise. I mean, adapting J.G. Ballard is difficult, and arguably nobody's ever really pulled it off properly. So you can't really, you can't really be too critical about people for their ambition in having a go. But this is, the concept's interesting. It's sort of set in one warehouse, and there's. I mean, people have made inevitable comparisons with Reservoir Dogs, but it looks like a completely different animal. It looks like a lot more.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can see the Reservoir Dogs element. I thought that one, but then I thought, well, it's not going to be because Reservoir Dogs, I know they're in a warehouse at the end, aren't they? But the sort of one shut up in there. the older evil stuff takes place somewhere else, where I suppose this is going to be all in a warehouse and shooting up and whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
But not in a train spotting.
No.
Firing Saturday night specials. Yeah, the 70s handgun of choice.
So the next one is The Bad Batch.
Well, the Bad Batch is again, it's another follow-up film to a very sort of acclaimed debut, and there was a film out a couple of years ago called A Woman Walks Alone. This is really embarrassing. A Woman Walks Alone at Midnight, and it was an Iranian vampire movie.
Right.
It was supposed to be just very strange film that was described by the director as a kind of Iranian vampire spaghetti western, which I didn't see.
I've not heard of this.
I think it was Mark Commode's film of the year, and I should have seen it and I didn't for some reason. And it's supposed to be. Well, this is a follow-up, and I'm definitely going to go and see this. And The Bad Batch. I just saw the trailer yesterday, and from what I can understand, it's a kind of science fiction movie set in a stretch of American desert where they just dump all their criminals and let them get on with it. Right. And about this woman who's sort of dumped in there as a prisoner, and within the first sort of 10 minutes of the movie has her arm and her leg removed. And then goes without an arm and I think a sort of false leg, and just meets all these kind of strange eccentrics, which include a mute Jason Momoa, a really sort of kind of oratorial Keanu Reeves.
Oh right.
A mute Jim Carrey, and Giovanni Ribisi, and it's supposed to have kind of musical numbers in it, and cannibalism, and
really
sort of
weird.
gang warfare. And the trailer is just bonkers, and I've got a real soft spot for Jason Momoa because I think this is a really good era for just kind of enormous gym sculpted actors who can actually act. So I think Jason Momoa. I think when I initially, I think the first thing I saw him was a Conan remake, and then I was really surprised at how good he was in obviously Game of Thrones is probably still the thing that he's most famous for, and then he did that Walter Hill film with Sylvester Stallone where he's the villain, Bullet to the Head. He's great in that, and I think this is a guy who's blessed and cursed with being enormous, and he's actually quite a good actor, and I think Dave Bautista fits into that category. I think Dave Bautista, from Guardians of the Galaxy, Drax,
he is.
He's the kind of the heavy, and he's a good actor.
Yeah, he is.
He's good, especially a very good comic actor.
Yeah.
So I think for all those reasons, I think for its sort of just sheer, like, uncategorizable bonkersness, I want to see that.
It sounds strange.
Yeah.
And when you said Keanu Reeves, for some reason it popped in my head Freak.
Yeah.
The Alec Winter film.
He does that, but he has a kind of a predilection for sort of taking small roles in really eccentric movies, and like the Neon Demon. He
Yeah,
has
I was gonna
he
say
has
that.
a phenomenal cameo in that as a really nasty, kind of motel manager, and So the Bad Batch. Now I've cheated. I've had two movies because it's the year of Stephen King.
Right.
Stephen King revivals and new adaptations, and
because it is going to be the movie.
Yes,
and the Dark Tower.
And the Dark Tower. Yeah. So before year's end, we'll have seen a new version of it, which obviously is Stephen King's longest novel. And
this is why they did the TV adaptation.
And they're doing it in two parts, which makes sense when you read the book, because there's kind of parallel stories of the children, children sort of fighting this kind of demonic clown, and then it's intercut with the sort of adults, kind of whose memories have been wiped, kind of remembering, being called back to this town to defeat the clown as it's sort of kind of been resurrected, but I think what they've done is they've just kind of made it a bit more linear and split it into two movies. And so the first film, I think, deals with the children, which I also thought was the better part of the novel anyway. And also like sort of Pennywise the clown is possibly one of Stephen King's most entertaining and striking villains, and sort of Tim Curry.
Well, I was going to say Tim Curry,
and they're kind of big shoes to fill, and so it's almost like 30 years, and then they've got one of the Sarsgaards, so Alexander Sarsgaard. All of his sons seem to have about 1 million children, and they're all really, really good actors. And sorry, Stellan Sarsgaard. That's it. So Alexander is one of his sons, so one of the Sarsgaards, and I forget which one, is playing Pennywise.
Oh, right.
And the photographs of it sort of, just look suitably creepy. He looks great. So I'm looking forward to it. But also we have the first instalment of presumably many Dark Tower movies. And Dark Tower is I'm a late convert to the Dark Tower. I've only read the first novel. I was away on a work trip in Edinburgh and just bought it for the train journey back. Pretty much finished it in the journey.
Really?
I ripped through it. And obviously I like westerns, and it's kind of odd hybrid between sort of it's post-apocalyptic, it's a western, but the western the kind of the western gunfighters are kind of obey almost like courtly laws of chivalry, and you have, and it's just the books are very hard to describe. Well, the first book, I've not read any of the others, so I'm a real.
How many books is there?
I don't know. There's loads of them, there's quite a few, and I think I'm not sure he's finished. And so I'm a real novice in the Dark Tower. So anybody that's listening who's a real sort of Dark Tower, kind of aficionado, forgive me, because I've just read the first book. I don't really know what's coming, but that made me want to see the film. In fact, I think that's why I read the book, and also the fact that I felt shamed into kind of being a Western fan, and especially a fan of like hybrids. I love sort of horror westerns. Not having read any of the Dark Tower, but from what I can understand, the film they're not really adapting the first novel. I think they're taking elements of some of the other books and just sort of mashing them all up. But the two central characters are quite exciting, because you've got this Roland of Gilead, who's this kind of gunfighter knight wandering across this kind of wasteland world in pursuit of this essentially kind of antichrist figure, the Man in Black, who's played by Matthew McConaughey, and that kind of really surprised me, because the interesting thing about Matthew McConaughey, obviously famously he's had this kind of resurgence. He's won his Oscar, and he had this incredible surprising couple of moments when I think this began with The Lincoln Lawyer, and then almost like film after film after film, it just seemed to be you couldn't go a month without another Matthew McConaughey film came that showed another dimension to him. And so there was like sort of Mud, and his turn in Magic Mike, and then his 5 minutes in The Wolf of Wall Street, and then obviously he wins his Oscar for the Dallas Buyers Club. And in the middle of all of that, he probably does his best work ever as the detective, partnering Woody Harrelson in True Detective. But then the thing that really caught my attention was Killer Joe, which is a phenomenal film based on a play where he plays this utterly demonic police officer dressed all in black, and he's this perfect sort of Southern Gothic creation who's phenomenally articulate, incredibly courteous, and underneath it all is this malevolence and just this sort of coiled spring. He's like a cobra.
That's the end of part 1. We'll see you in part 2 when we'll be looking at the next 5 films that Adam will be choosing for his top 10 films for looking forward in 2000.
Oh, for God's sake, Craig!